hello, and welcome once again to MFON's Women's Empowerment. I am MJ, and welcome to part 2 of I Just Want to Be Loved. And in today's podcast, we will continue from part 1. And what is it that we need to do to get this healing in order to feel loved by ourselves? You know, there's a famous song by one of our old-time artists, Lisa Fisher, and the lyrics, I can't remember it in detail. What I know, one part she says is, "A fool for love is a fool for pain, but I refuse to love you again." Now, how can I ease the pain? How can I ease the pain when I know you're going to keep coming back again? And that's just like all of us who keeps looking for this love. We try to find it in food, in a man, in things, in shopping, in climbing corporate ladders, in fighting for positions in certain places, or fighting to be number one, buying things, buying more things, and then just to find out that you're still in the same place again, with the same emotions, probably with the same man who's probably not even attached or even thinking about you, but just keeps coming back and forth in your life. Going back to the same store, whether it's a dollar store, CVS, Rite Aid, just to buy anything to fill the void, TJ Maxx, you name it, Nordstrom, Saks for the high-end ladies, just to fill that void, just to feel good, the temporary high. But in order for us to have this love that balances out, we kind of have to fill in the whole pie. So I want you to visualize a pie. And this pie is round just like a pizza, but it has a V shape in each pie, like a pizza if you was to slice it. And it will have many spaces. And in each space, the first space is the spiritual. The second is the mental. The third is the emotional. The physical. And the financial. So those spaces need to be filled up in order for us to have this love. Now, you may feel love and financially. You may say, look, I got it going on. I got a good job. I'm making a six-figure, or I'm not even making six figures, but where I'm at right now in my life, I'm good. Financially, I feel love. I'm good. I'm not worried. I have my investments. I have my stocks. I'm not, I'm good there. And then you may have the emotional piece. That emotion that may go up and down with life and not able to stabilize it. Easily provoked. You easily agitated. Emotional roller coasters throughout the day. Not stable. Easily glitched by anything. You're easily reactive. You got things going on and you could be in a slope for a long period of time. That's the emotional that we want to fill our love cups with first. Not going out looking for things to fill it. Then you have your mental. Your mental is what really keeps you focused, keeps you stable mentally and emotionally go hand in hand. And when we're saying that we have mental issues, we don't want to kind of cognitively with emotional, because there's some people who do have mental issues and have been diagnosed. It has nothing to do with this emotional fulfillment that I was talking about just now. But we want to get that mental issue stabilized, that sometimes you may feel depressed. You may have anxiety. You may have post-traumatic disorder, stress from an incident or trauma that occurred in your life. And we're going to talk about how we can get that stabilized, get that love mental part stable. Oftentimes it may begin with finding a therapist, finding a pastor, finding a psychiatrist. That is how you get your mental part stable. I know some Christians don't believe in therapy, and they don't believe in group therapy. They don't believe in talking to anyone but praying it away. And praying it away does not work. It works hand in hand when you get the help. Because sometimes we're praying for something to go away, and we don't know what we're praying for. Okay, so sometimes we need to go to someone to help us pray it away. We don't have the power. Some of us need meds. Some of us need someone to check in on us regularly, to go in, whether it's on Zoom, when it's going to the office, to help us pray that away with therapy. So there is faith without works is dead. You've got to have, everything goes in hand. Sometimes some incidents in your life can be chemically imbalanced, that you need medicine, herbs. You need a holistic pie to help with the praying it away. Faith without works is dead. Then we talk about the physical. Exercising, getting the right sunlight, eating the right foods that's good for your body type. That is another way of filling your physical heart with love. But we will go into that detail by detail. And of course, I love the best part is the spiritual part. Because without spirituality, we are nothing. Everyone has a deity that they are looking up to if they're not serving the supreme God. And so we want to focus on our Creator, God, the one that created us, that balances us, filling our hearts with Him. Filling our hearts with Him, that stabilizes us above all. Because if we look at Master Jesus, He showed us all these things. He showed us how He got up early in the morning to draw for power, and how He closed out the evening again, drawing for power again. So we have to get that together in order to fill our love hearts with spirituality, and we will talk about that more. But the first thing I want to talk about is the spiritual part. Getting to know our Creator and falling in love with Him. How do we fall in love with this God that we haven't seen? Some of us may go to church every week, or maybe 3 times a week. Some of us go to church every day. Some of us don't go to church at all. We having something else we may be serving that we are looking at as a God, right? But our Creator, who created us, wants that intimate time with us. And because of the forces and the darkness that is in this world that seeks to devour us as women, whether you're single, whether you're married, you're widowed, divorced, we all are faced with challenges from the time we get up till we go back to our beds. And so one of the ways we're going to fill our hearts with spirituality of love is to getting close to God. How do we get close to God? MJ said, well, I'm already close to God, so that's the least of my worries. Well, remaining steadfast. Steadfast, knowing that in the morning, spending that time with Him. You got to ground yourself. You got to ground yourself. You got to get grounded. If it means that you got to go to bed early, because you know that you got to leave early in the morning, and you can't, you just don't, you're not going to have time. So grounding yourself, putting that love, spiritual love, on your phone alarm, and getting up and talking to him and letting him know everything. If you got to start out with 5 minutes, let it be 5 minutes, and work your way up every day till you get to that thoughtful time with him. And start off with your worship. Just being grateful that you woke up. Being grateful for whatever's happening in your life, even though it looks like a disaster to you. Just being grateful. Just singing a song or a hymn or opening the Psalms and just worshiping him. If that's all you can do for 5 minutes or 1 minute, just do that. Fill your hearts with the spiritual love so that when the day comes out, you will have power. Opening a scripture or starting out with a book from Genesis or the New Testament to Matthew. Any book, anywhere, just say, Lord, where you want me to start? Even if it's one scripture, just read it. For those who are just saying, well, I need to read the whole book, just read the whole book. Start filling your cup with spirituality. If you're doing it already, good. That I'm not talking to you. It's not resonating. But for those who need it, yes, set your alarm clock. Be intentional. Find a partner. If you know that you can't do it alone, find someone that's going to say, listen, I want to stick to this. Can you call me at 6 o'clock? Can you call me at 5? Or can you just send me a text to read and I'll read that? Just to start off with a spiritual empowerment, to set your day, to get your day grounded so that you could be able to withstand the wiles of the enemy, the defeated one that is here on earth, who has studied you from the time that you were a baby. And he knows all your weaknesses. And he knows your strength. But in order for us to defeat him and to obtain power throughout the day, one of the ways to maintain your equilibrium is to get supernatural power. And that power comes from getting up in the morning. And for those who are evening people, if you're working in the night, you try to figure out how you're going to spend that time with him. I don't care how you do it. I love to, read the scriptures, sing a song, do my affirmations, read my study book, read something, and then read something motivational. That is another way of filling your spiritual cup. There's a lot of motivational things on YouTube that I love to read. And that also helps me throughout the day to let me know, listen, you're going to make it. You're going to be able to do well. And so I want to end with that, part 2, filling your cup spiritually and drawing power. And that is the real superwoman. Hello, ladies, and welcome once again to Imfan's Women's Empowerment. I am MJ, and I am welcoming you once again to my podcast, Part 3, I Just Want to Be Loved. And today we're talking about emotions. Of course, us as ladies, we do have a lot of emotions, highs and lows, which is okay, ladies. It's okay to experience the highs and lows of life. What we don't want to be is stuck
and have repetitive behaviors that will produce negative results. Now, today I'm not talking about mental health. And mental health, yes, can affect your emotions. But today I'm not talking about mental health. I will talk about mental health at a later date. Today we're just focusing on some of the emotions that we may feel as women. Yes, if you do have mental health issues, it can affect your emotions. But today I'm just talking about the emotional effects that we as women may face on a daily basis. Moving away from those who do suffer from mental health issues. And I admonish all of our ladies that it's okay if you're having mental health issues. But what is not okay if we don't get the help? And so soon I'll be talking about mental health and the importance of seeking professional help so that you can maintain the stability, this healthy pie that is possible to achieve. Last week I spoke about this circle and us having like a pizza. If you look at a pizza and you cut them slices. Well, our lives are like that, ladies. We have the spiritual, our mental, our emotional, our physical, our financial, our social being. And it has to be balanced in order for us to feel holistically whole. And yes, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes, for some of us, it takes a lifetime. Some of us are quicker than others, but it's not a race. There is no race on getting this well-being. The only thing is that we just need to start somewhere, do the work, filling our cups with love, these hearts, ourselves, so that we can maintain a balance, a whole balance, being stable, not feeling some way off that something is missing. You may fill up your spiritual part, but yet still not feeling happy. You may have your financial hearts all filled up, but your spiritual part is not empty, it's empty, or your emotional part is empty. And so here we want to get the balance. Some of the emotions that as women that we may go through are happiness, disgust, love, empowerment, surprise, satisfaction, envy, pride, annoyance, frustration, jealousy, content, anger, sadness, fear, guilt, loneliness, some confusion, anxiety, disappointment, and boredom. And so it is okay to feel these emotions because they are in us. But what is not okay is when we stay in these emotions and they begin to consume us. They begin to allow us to display negative emotions. And of course, if you know that the more you display negative emotions, the more the body is not happy and it becomes imbalanced. So let's look at some of the negative emotions that as women may be experiencing and not knowing why. And so you may have this low and you may feel like, well, listen, let me just clean my house from the top to the bottom. And then you get this emotion of high. And then after you finish cleaning, the low comes back. You may love to shop. You get this feeling of just needing to buy, whether it's from the Dollar Tree, CVS, TJ Maxx, Macy's, even just to buy one item from any store, or even if you like to shop online. You fulfill the high and then go back to the low. You may be a person who just like to start a lot of trouble. You just love it. You get a high. You seek out situations, and then all of a sudden, you're so happy because you see destruction in front of you. And then the low comes again. You may be experiencing a lot of envy and jealousy. And so you see yourself day after day, hours after hours, thinking about this person or this thing that you are just so jealous of, giving you that high that can also cause you to be disruptive. And then comes the low again. You also could be one of those ladies who's just a busybody. You love to get into people's business. And it's reoccurrent. It goes in the high, and then when you finish, you go back on the low. You also can be some of those ladies who enjoy seeing the ruin of other people's lives. Yes, we have those type of women enjoying it. It gives you a high. It makes you smirk and laugh. And when you're done, you go back to the low again. So many behaviors. You may enjoy having a larger number of times of sex. Yes, we have women who don't know why, but they need to have a lot of sex. Ladies, I'm blunt. And even those single ladies can't stop. Cannot stop. Very quick to meet someone in the bed, as quick as they meet them. And maybe those who even dispose those men and go back to the next man again. Very easy. The high, and then they experience the low again. You may be a person who loves to drink. When you're feeling your emotions again, you like your narcotics, you like your marijuana or weed or whatever they call it. So the high, and then again the low. You may be those who love to party. Some people party every day just to fulfill the high, and then they come back again to the low. You may be one of those ladies who love to just be in the company of people. You don't like being alone. You must be in company of people, fulfilling the high. And then when you leave the people's presence, you come back again to the low. You may be a movie junkie. You enjoy watching movies, shows all day until you go to sleep, fulfilling the emotional high just to come back to the low. And what about those women who love to eat? Eat. You're not hungry. We will talk about that when it comes to the physical. It's just the emotional hunger, the emotional high. Whether you're eating something sweet or you're eating something crunchy or just to eat. The emotional high. Then to come back to the emotional low. Now, why all these emotions? What is the cause? And why us as women do we go through these emotional highs when we're feeling these emotions? It may be an emotion of loneliness. It may be the feeling of guilt. Ladies, you may be feeling confused, sad, angry, envy. These emotions come in through our programming, which is our minds, every day. It's the same record or audio tape or videotape that's being replayed every day. So now we're going to have to stop this. Now you say, MJ, how I'm going to stop this? I have been thinking like this for years. It's just humanly impossible. I'm doomed. This is how I am. I'm going to die just like this. I can't stop. Well, that's not true. You can stop feeling emotions. What has you feeling emotional? Well, for some people, it can be a childhood trauma. It could be an adult trauma. It could be an abuse that you experienced. It could just be a feeling of being lonely, single, alone, married, miserable. Maybe you experience a traumatic experience in your life. Maybe you just need someone to talk to. You don't like being alone, like I said. There are so many reasons of these emotional highs and lows. And so we are going to talk about what we can do on how we can actually heal these emotions and recognize it. But I want to give you an assignment because we're going to come back. First, I want to piggyback on these emotions of unhappiness, of onset sudden sadness, onset sudden maybe depression, onset sudden anger, onset sudden jealousy, onset sudden sadness, frustration. And I want you to sit down and just get a pen and just write. I want you to write a check mark next to any of these emotions that I am going to mention. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to get a pen and a paper, or you can use your phone. And I want you to check from 1 to 5. Happiness. 5 if you're really happy all the time. And 1 being not so happy all the time. Disgust. Embarrassment. Envy. Prideful. Frustration. Amusement. Jealousy. Content. Anger. Sadness. Fear. Anxiety. Guilt. Loneliness. Shame. Confusion. Depression. Disappointment. And boredom. So ladies, that's your assignment. I will be back next week, 1 to 5. And we're going to talk about these emotions and how we can recognize it. So now you have these emotions in you. Sometimes we are feeling a certain way and we don't even recognize that this is the word. Yes, I am feeling this. And so now I'm going to get up and I'm going to go buy something. But now you can recognize it. Oh, I'm feeling angry. I'm going to clean my house from top to bottom to let go of the anger. Oh, I'm feeling angry. I'm not going to clean my house. I'm just going to let it stay like that for days. Oh, I'm feeling jealous. I'm going to destroy that young lady. I'm going to destroy that lady. I'm going to tear it down. So now we're recognizing these words. I'm feeling happy. I'm really happy right now. I am happy. And I'm going to do something that I love to do. You need to recognize it. When we recognize these emotions, you got me feeling emotions, then we could recognize some of the triggers in your life. That's in my life. And then we can learn to stop and turn whatever highs we're looking for to fulfill and turn it into a beautiful hearts. No more highs and lows. No more. So I admonish you, that's your assignment, ladies. We'll be back next week with part 4. And I'm going to tie it in with mental health. You got me feeling emotion. And I want us to recognize it. And I hope that you were able to take time for yourself, as I admonished you to do that during the beginning of the series. It's very important for us as women to take time for yourself. You need it. It helps with these emotions, the triggers that set us off very easily when some of us don't have the attention that we're looking for. Some of us don't feel loved. Some of us hear someone say something negative to us. When someone feels like they're not being treated fairly. The emotions. Some of us have mastered it, and God bless you. Some of us, like most of us, are feeling emotional and not good emotions. And so, ladies, I want to thank you once again for stopping by at this podcast as we heal together. You got me feeling emotions. I just want to be loved. All of that. Just wanting to be loved when your emotions are up and down, left and right. You look for love in all the wrong places. But getting these emotional under control, ladies, realizes the body, the emotions become stable. We're going to talk about that next week, and I'm going to tie it into mental health. And so you have your assignment. Come back with your papers. Come sit down together next week at Infan's Women's Empowerment. I am MJ. Be blessed.